Good morning, everybody. It's Sunday. I am driving to go help my brother with his hoarder house cleanup. On the way there, we're going to be looking for any good used bikes that I can sell, or maybe just some really cool things. We're going to be stopping off at some flea markets, and then we're going to be strolling into his place, hopefully sometime 10:30 or so, to help him clean up this house. Hopefully this is the last time. If it's not, it's going to be the second to the last time. So I'm going to go get myself some Bojangles and continue heading that way. Well, we are out at the Poor Man's Flea Market just outside of Greenville, North Carolina. Let's go inside and see if we can find any really cool bikes. Hopefully this will help me organize.
Yeah, don't take it along. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, that worked out pretty good. We got a real nice set of storage bins for $30, and then we got a nice Bianchi 20-inch mountain style bike for $10. We should be able to fix this thing up and actually make a profit. Let's see what's going to be involved in that. Let's see how much it's going to cost and how much it's going to be worth. Let's get started on that. Now that we've got this bike back at the shop, we can actually see if this was a good deal. Now, I checked on the price of these bikes, these Bianchi duals, and they are actually going for $500 for these, which is a little more than I thought that it was going to be. I was figuring this bike was every bit of $350, maybe $400, but they're all over the place for $500. So this bike could very well be worth the money that we paid for it, which was $10. Obviously, we're going to need to replace the tires. We're going to also need to replace the brake cable and the derailleur cable. The front brake cable seems to be pretty good. So let's go ahead and get that done. We're going to check the wheels to make sure that they're straight. We're going to check the hubs to make sure the bearings feel good. And we're going to see how much money it's going to actually cost to get this thing fixed up, and then how much we can sell it for. Now, I was figuring on selling this bike for, I was thinking about $100, but since I'm having to put new tires on this and the cables, unfortunately, I'm probably going to have to try to sell it for at least $150. Now, in the bike industry, if the bike is a $500 bike, you can typically sell it for about half of what it was new in good shape. There's not going to be anybody around here that's going to pay $250 for this, because people don't pay top dollar for kids' bikes, at least around here. Let's go ahead and get this thing taken apart. Let's go ahead and check things out and see how we do on this. First things first, let's get these wheels off. Now that we've got this wheel straightened up, I've got these Kenda contact tires. These are great tires, and I think it'll go great with this bike. To be sure to put the chain onto the last gear. This one's actually on the second to the last gear. And make sure you're putting the chain on properly. And we're going to tighten this down just a little bit. Try to make sure it's not moving. We're going to make sure that the wheel is straight in the frame. We're going to tighten this one a little bit. And then go back here. Tighten it a little more. Then tighten the other side. Until you get it good and snug. Okay. We're going to go ahead and install a new derailleur cable. So I'm going to just go ahead and cut that. And we will remove this, toss that, and then put a new cable on. This Shimano shifter is a little tricky on the cable. There's a little tab that is right here. Let me see if I can rotate that. Let's rotate this a little bit to see if we can show you how this is done. There's actually a little tab just right here. You can barely see it. You want to get a small flathead screwdriver, or in this case, we're going to use my knife. Let's clean it up a little bit. And we're just going to push the knife into the tab there and just gently kind of pry on it a little bit, and then it's going to open up this door. You want to be careful removing it, never force it. And I'm just going to keep working it a little bit. There we go. And then we can just undo the cable. I'm going to go ahead and cut the cable here. You may need to get yourself one of these picks and just kind of help guide the cable out. We're going to be using a Clark's stainless steel gear cable kit. I'm going to go ahead and pull the cable out of the housing. I've done this enough, you'd figure I could do it with my eyes closed. Put it into the hole, make sure the cable goes into the channel there. And we're going to put the cover back on. We're going to put it in the little slot there. And it'll snap back together. And now we can put the housing on and oil it and adjust it. You want to leave a nice loop on the back here, a nice curve, not too sharp, not too long. We're going to use that probe to open up the housing here. There's a little Teflon liner on the inside here that you want to make sure is fully open. Okay, that's open. Let's put the ferrule on. And get one ferrule. Put it on the end. I like to push it against the frame. Put the cable in. You want to use the oil. You want to use the oil on the cable now. Make sure you put the cable in the proper location on the clamp. Always like to pull the cable firmly. Tighten it down. And you want to trim the excess. There's a little cable tip that goes on the end of the cable to keep it from fraying. And you can use a pair of needle nose, pliers, whatever, to crimp the end so it doesn't fall off. I'm going to make an adjustment on the derailleur setting. We've got a little bit too much slack in here. I'm going to take some of that slack out. I'll have to replace the cable tip because I just pulled it off. Luckily, I have hundreds. We appear to have a little bit of damage on the derailleur here, so I'm just going to carefully bend this back. And just tweak it until I've got it where I want it. It should be a lot quieter now. Much better. Well, we have this Bianchi done and ready for sale. So the big question is, how did we do? We got the Bianchi for $10. We've got 2 new tires on here. Each tire goes for $19.99 each. We've got a new derailleur cable and housing kit on here, which goes for $7.99. And then we've got a new brake cable and housing kit on here, which is about $6.99. So all in all, this ends up coming out to be $74.95. Well, my idea of selling it for $100 is just not going to happen. So I'm going to try to sell it for $150, which means that we're going to be making, if we can sell it for that price, we're going to be making about $75, which, you know, 75 bucks profit, considering I worked for 2 hours, that ends up coming up to be around $36 an hour. Is that about right? 36? Something like that. $37.50 is the total. So not ideal. I try to get more than that if I can, because it takes a lot of money to keep this place going. But we'll do fine on that, because I'm going to be making some money, and it's going to make somebody really happy. So if you liked this video, please leave me a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It really helps me out. So check out some of the other videos on the corner of the screen. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.